Hey there folks, it's Blue here at Blue Bears Games, and for this week's videos I will be unboxing and then upgrading the Outlaws of Thunder Junction Quick Draw Commander Precon. Before we get started, I'd like to take a moment to ask for your help in supporting my channel, which can be done in the following ways. Subscribing to the channel, sharing any of my content on your socials, watching some of my many other videos, purchasing super thanks, purchasing channel memberships, purchasing decks that you may have seen on this channel directly from me on the Blue Bears Games Facebook page, and/or visiting our sponsor at arcane-fortress.com and using discount code BLUEBEAR at checkout if you decide to purchase any of their amazing gaming supplies from them. Anything that you do will help support my channel immensely, and I thank you for it. Now that that is out of the way, let's get to today's video. This video will be the unboxing of the Precon, where I'll show you everything that comes in the box, including the deck, card by card. And then tomorrow's video will be my upgrade guide, where I'll go over some options on what I believe you should take out, and then add back in to help make the deck either more fun to play a little better, or best case scenario, both. This deck's color identity is red and blue, also known as Is It, and uses Stella Lee wildcard as the commander. Stella is a completely new character in the game, so let's see what she does. Stella Lee is 1 red, 1 blue, and 1 generic mana to cast for a 2/4 legendary human rogue with 2 abilities. The first ability says that whenever you cast your second spell each turn, exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. The second ability says that you can tap Stella to copy target instant or sorcery spell that you control, and you may choose new targets for the copy, and activate only if you've cast 3 or more spells this turn. Going by the colors, and by what Stella does, I'm going to assume that the theme for this deck will be spwllslinger. Basically what that means is that it will be casting a lot of spells, but I don't see to what end, nor do I see how that will translate into winning. There may be a secondary sub-theme that leads to a win con, but I'm not sure based on the information that I get from the outside of the box. The only way to find all of this out is to just rip this bad boy open and show you what's in the box. Alrighty, so here's what the outside of the box looks like. Has a picture of Stella on the front. It's blue and red, like I told you earlier, called Quick Draw, of course, and it says sling multiple spells and unleash big turns, whatever that means. On the back side, we have another picture of what the actual card for Stella looks like, and you can see the name of her on the back. And it says, here comes a showdown throwdown. So let's just open it up and see what is actually inside this box. Okay, so the little insert that everything is packaged in comes with these 2 bad, I don't even know what they're called at this point. This one seems to have been crushed a little bit. That's kind of unfortunate, but that's what it's for. It's to protect what's inside. The back has 6 +1/+1 counters on it, so at least those are useful, even if they're a little bit thinner than the old ones. We have an insert on one side. We have basically a poster of Stella Lee and a little bit about her. And on the other side, we have what I'm assuming will be the secondary suggested commander, whoever that may be. We'll find out in a minute. A little bit about playing the deck and the extra commander rules. I've told people this many times. I use these as dividers when I've run out. They do pretty good. The box. Here's what the box looks like once I get it assembled. Alright, so the front obviously has the Is It colors, blue and red. The sides always have the Planeswalker symbol. The back has a picture of Stella Lee, and then of course the top has magic on it. So that's the box. The life wheel is generic, which means you can use it for anything, even though it doesn't really matter. I don't use the life wheels, I use dice. And then the last 2 things are the Collector's Booster Sample Pack and the deck. So let me zoom a little bit, and we'll open the Collector's Pack. Haven't gotten anything quite that exciting yet from these packs, so fingers crossed, maybe I'll get one thing. Who knows? Alright, first up is Wily Duke Atlin Hero. It is a extended art foil. I don't know if that's exciting or valuable. And then a foil, the Big Score Fling, which is kind of exciting with the new cactus, but not really that exciting. The price is up there so you can see how exciting it might be, but I doubt it's very. We're here for the deck, so let me open this up and we'll go over everything. Alright, so here we go. Here is Stella Lee. Like I said, on the back of the box, it shows this too. It is a extended art, kind of different treatment that they've been doing. There is no more thick commanders or oversized commanders. But we've already gone over that. So this was the secondary commander that was in the insert. The name is Eris, Roar of the Storm. Wow, that's a high casting cost. It is 1 blue, 1 red, and 8 generic mana for a 4/4 legendary elemental warlock, and it has a couple of abilities here. The first one says this spell costs 2 less to cast for each different mana value among instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard. Then it has flying and prowess. And then the last ability says whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a 4/4 red dragon elemental creature token with flying and prowess. You can get it cheaper because of the first ability, but those abilities combined are actually pretty good, even for that cost. Alright, moving on. First card up is Archmage Emeritus. This is a reprint. It's a good one because it helps you draw cards. Baral's Expertise. Tezzeret's Gambit. This used to be an uncommon, by the way. It's now a rare. Midnight Clock. It's a mana rock. Haughty Djinn. Dig Through Time. Winged Boots. Don't recognize this. This may be a reprint, it may not. This is a 2-to-cast artifact equipment that equips for 1, and the equipped creature has flying and ward 4. Very basic. Talrand. We know I make a bunch of different decks with Talrand. I have one of my own personal ones, and then I make a budget one for people to play. It's actually kind of fun. Octavia Living Thesis. Thunderclap Drake. Don't recognize this one. This is a 2-to-cast 2/1 Drake with flying. An ability that says instants and sorcery spells that you cast cost 1 less to cast. And then a final ability that says for 1 blue and 2, and sacrificing it. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy it for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. Okay. Lock and Load. This is a 30-cast sorcery that allows you to draw a card, then draw a card for each other instant and sorcery spell that you've cast this turn. And it has Plot. Forger's Foundry, a 3-cast artifact that you can tap it to add a blue. And when you spend this mana to cast an instant or sorcery spell with a mana value 3 or less, you may exile that spell instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard as it resolves. And then it has an ability that says for 2 blue and 3 or 5 total, and tapping it, you may cast any number of spells from among the cards exiled with Forger's Foundry without paying their mana costs and activate only as a sorcery. Finale of Revelation. This is a draw X spell that blue is famous for. Curse of the Swine. This is removal. Mizzix's Mastery. Nice little reprint there. Chaos Warp. There's always a Chaos Warp in every precon WotC makes. That's red. Crackling Spellslinger. This is a 5-to-cast 2/2 human wizard with flash and an ability that says when it enters the battlefield, if you've cast it, the next instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn has Storm. Cool. Storm is a very great ability. Pyretic Charge. This is a 5-to-cast sorcery that says discard your hand and draw 4 cards. For each card discarded this way, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn, and it plots. Alright. Smoldering Stagecoach. This is a 4-to-cast vehicle that has a power and toughness of star and 5. Its power, or the star, is equal to the number of instants and sorcery cards in your graveyard, and whenever it attacks, the next instant and the next sorcery spell you cast each have Cascade, and it accrues for 2. Elemental Eruption is a 6-to-cast sorcery that says create a 4/4 red dragon elemental creature token with flying and prowess, and it has Storm. That's actually not horrible. Rousing Refrain, a 5-to-cast sorcery that says to add a red for each card in target opponent's hand. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end, and then you exile it with 3 time counters on it. And of course it has Suspend, because that's how that works. This is actually, I believe, a reprint. Cursed Mirror. It's a mana rock.
Bloodthirsty Adversary, another reprint. The other Finale, which is the red one, is Finale of Promise. That's a reprint. Arcane Bombardment. Niv-Mizzet Perrin. This is a great commander, especially since it has a 2-card combo with him and 2 different cards. One of them is Eye of Ophidian. The other one is Curiosity. Kaza Roll Chaser. That is a reprint. Shark Typhoon is a great card. I love this card. Reprint. Galvanic Iteration. Epic Experiment. Veyran Voice of Duality. This is a really good Spellslinger style creature. Leyline Dowser. This is a 2-to-cast artifact that looks like it has 2 abilities. The first one says you can pay 1 and tap it to mill a card, and you may put an instant or sorcery card milled this way into your hand. Or you can tap an untapped legendary creature you control to untap Leyline Dowser. So it's reusable. Exotic Orchard, Shivan Reef, Sulphur Falls, Frost Boil Snarl, Temple of Epiphany, Cascade Bluffs, Ferris Lake, Treasure Cruise, Preordain, Ponder, Murmuring Mystic. This creates a lot of good flying tokens. Deep Analysis for card draw. Radical Idea, more card draw. Opt, lots of card draw. Think Twice, Arcane Denial, Terramander. It's a great 1-to-cast 1/1 flyer for blue. Vandal Blast, good artifact removal. Pongify, one of, I think it's 3 or 4 targeted removals that blue has. Serum Visions. Oh, and we're through the first half of the deck. Second half, we start off with a Faithless Looting, a Big Score, Storm-Killing Artist, one of the more combo-centric creatures out there. You can do a lot with Storm-Killing Artist. Young Pyromancer, Electrostatic Field. I expect some cards like this to come up next, like Gutter Snipe, Volcanic Torrent, Windfall, Goblin Electromancer, makes things cheaper, just cast. Third Path Iconoclast. I've made a deck very similar to this. Expressive Iteration, Arcane Signet, Is It Signet, Soul Ring, Command Tower, Temple of the False God, Reliquary Tower, Is It Boilerworks, Propaganda to help prevent you from being attacked. We're on to basic lands, lots of islands and lots of mountains, I'm sure, because it's a 2-color deck, so it doesn't have to split it up that much. Yep. And then we're on to the tokens. So we'll start with Bird Illusion, an Ape, a Drake, a Boar, an Elemental, a Dragon Elemental, 2 of them. The 3 bounties, which is Rissa Blades Lee, Sleepy Savka, and Miran Tillis Jr. Alright, and then on the back side, that thing's just a reminder, we have what the rewards are for the bounties, which you can read them if you get the deck. And then we have Treasure, Bird Illusions, Soldier, Drake, another Soldier, Shark for the Sharknado or Shark Typhoon, and an Elemental.
And that, my friends, is what comes in the Outlaws of Thunder Junction Quick Draw Commander Precon. My very first commander build was Talrand Spellslinger because it's one of my favorite themes in Magic. This Precon had some flashes of what that deck did, so naturally I kinda like it. Out of the box, this deck had a lot of cards I would have chosen for this type of build, and it even had some cards that I was pleasantly surprised to see. If you are personally looking to get your hands on a Spellslinger deck to try for the first time, this is the one that I would recommend until a better one comes along. Hell, I would love to get my hands on at least 3 more sealed boxes of this Precon just to have some of the pieces for my own collection. With that said, no deck is ever truly perfect, and this deck has a couple of things that I would change. Want to know what cards? Well, you'll just have to check back tomorrow to find out. Well, folks, sadly that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and if you're looking for more Magic content to watch, please go browse my channel and take a look at some of my many other videos. I've made quite a few over the years that I think you'll enjoy, and then please be sure to check back tomorrow for that upgrade guide. Before you go, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, so you can be notified anytime that I release new content, which is typically every Friday and occasionally on Saturdays. Have a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow.